Imagine the lights are off. A soft light falls on an old map of Iran. I'm sitting in front of the camera, and I say, today we're going to talk about the things that got lost between the lines of history books. Not the version we memorized in school, not the dry and official narrative. We're going after the secrets about Iran that history has hidden. History is never told in a perfectly clean and organized way. Usually, the winners write the story. But Iran, this ancient land, has seen so many rises and falls that many of its stories were either censored, simplified, or never fully told.
Let's move closer to modern times. When we talk about the Qajar era, the image that usually comes to mind is backwardness, concessions, and political weakness. But we don't talk enough about the fact that Iran was trapped in the dangerous rivalry of global powers. The competition between United Kingdom and Russia had practically turned Iran into a chessboard. Decisions that we judge easily today may have been seen then as the only way to avoid total collapse. History, when told from a safe distance, quickly labels heroes and traitors. But when you're standing inside the storm, those lines are much more blurred. And then we reach the 20th century. We've heard a lot about the nationalization of oil and the role of Mohammad Mossadegh. We've heard about the 1953 coup. But what's less discussed is the deep social fracture of that period. Iran wasn't simply divided into supporters and opponents. Different layers of society had different fears and hopes. Some wanted economic independence. Some feared instability. Some just wanted a normal life. When we look back, we're tempted to simplify everything. But reality was far more complex.
One of the biggest secrets of Iran's history is exactly this complexity. No era was entirely golden or entirely dark. Even the periods remembered as glorious were full of hidden crises. And even the periods remembered as collapse contained the seeds of renewal. As a YouTuber, when I talk about this topic, I don't just want to list events. I want to build images. Imagine walking through the streets of an ancient city. You hear the market noise. News spreads that an enemy army is approaching. People are divided. Stay or flee. Or imagine standing in Tehran 100 years ago, hearing whispers about political agreements spreading from mouth to mouth. History isn't just the names of kings and the dates of wars. It's the anxiety and hope of ordinary people. Maybe one of the greatest secrets history has hidden is that Iran was never just a stage where events happened.
There's another secret: cultural resilience. Even when governments changed, even when official languages shifted, even when power structures collapsed, a deep cultural identity survived. Poetry, architecture, Nowruz, the Persian language. These aren't things that disappear with one invasion or one political agreement. Textbooks may focus on politics, but the soul of a nation is found in its culture. Now, the big question. Why do some things remain hidden? It's not always about conspiracy. Sometimes it's about simplicity. A school textbook has to be short, so details are cut. Sometimes politics plays a role. Every era prefers to highlight certain parts of the past and dim others. That means if we truly want to understand history, we need more than one source, more than one narrative. When I make this video, my goal isn't to replace one official story with another ultimate truth. My goal is to make you think, to make sure that when you hear the name of a historical period, a single flat image doesn't form in your mind. To remind you that behind every event, there are dozens of hidden angles. The secrets of Iran's history aren't necessarily classified documents hidden underground. Many of them were always right in front of us. We just didn't look deeply enough.
And that's exactly where the danger begins. History has repeatedly shown that the moment a government becomes convinced that nobody can hurt it, that very moment is often the beginning of its weakness. Because fewer people ask questions, fewer people give warnings, fewer people see the danger, and worst of all, nobody wants to hear the truth. Imagine being at a huge celebration. Music is playing. People are laughing. Everyone is happy. Then, one person quietly walks into the crowd and says, "I don't think things are going well." People would probably laugh at them. They'd say, "You're overthinking." They'd say, "Stop being negative." They'd say, "Everything is fine." But sometimes that one person is the only one seeing reality. And everyone says in shock, "Wait, when did this happen?" But the truth is, it started on the very first day. Nobody noticed it. Or maybe they did, but they didn't take it seriously. And now the story becomes even more frightening. Because sometimes enemies don't even need to attack. They don't need to gather armies. They don't need to draw swords. Sometimes all they need to do is wait. Wait for the right moment. Wait until divisions grow larger. Wait until people become tired. Wait until trust begins to disappear. Wait until the pillars of a nation begin shaking from within. At that point, even a small push can change everything.
Maybe that's the strangest part of Iranian history. Iran has stood on the edge of collapse many times. Many times. And every time, it felt like everything was over. If you had seen people living in those times, you might have believed there was no way out. Some probably thought that by tomorrow, there would no longer even be a country. Some probably believed Iran's story would end forever, just like dozens of other empires. But then, something strange happened. Every single time, Iran somehow came back. Every time. As if this land had a strange ability to survive. But that doesn't mean there was no danger. Quite the opposite. Some of the most terrifying moments may still be hidden inside history. Moments when people were so afraid they didn't know what tomorrow would bring. Moments where one decision, just one decision,